What's up, everybody? This is Jose from Southern Life.
And Katie.
Welcome to our channel. Thank you for spending your time with us. On today's beautiful video, Katie and I are heading northbound along US-1 Dixie Highway. We're at the southern end of Daytona, and we're going to drive clear across the Daytona metropolitan area. So you'll get a south to north drive. You'll get to see the entire length of the metropolitan area. It's kind of a long stretch along the coast, so we're going to start from the southern end of it and drive north. So this will give you a long drive clear to Daytona. We've also done drives along Daytona along the beach, but this is kind of not along the beach. This is through the urban core. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Katie, what's on your mind today?
I just saw an old, like the buses your dad likes.
Yeah.
It's a wedding chapel.
A wedding chapel bus?
Yeah.
You know what they say? You might be a redneck. You got married in a bus, you might be a redneck. So every memory of walking out the back door, every line I'm sorry to say it, time to say it, I'm sorry I can't sing. Every memory of walking out the back door, I don't know what the crap I'm singing, Katie. What am I singing?
Photograph by Nickelback.
Photograph by Nickelback.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that our generation actually had great music. You know, us millennials, believe it or not, actually had a great time with music. When you think about millennials, perhaps good music isn't what comes to mind. Yeah, I'm not going to say we had music back in the 70s or something, but we had our music. And, crap, the 2020s didn't bring anything worth a while. 2010s didn't.
Yeah.
But the 2000s, you had a lot of musical movements.
That, yeah.
We'll get to that. But let's start off with alternative rock. You had Blink-182. You had Nickelback. You had, help me out here, Cockroach.
Papa Roach.
Right. You had,
Avenged Sevenfold.
Right. Yeah, you had like Green Day.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm just naming things I remember from back then.
Jimmy World?
Red jumps, yes.
Yeah.
Jimmy World, red jumpsuit apparatus.
Apocalyptica? Yeah, kind of.
Apocalyptica, yeah.
Yeah. There was actually a lot of good music. That was the alternative rock movement, which was probably when we were like in middle school and high school. And I'm gonna tell you, there's not been anything like it. Like, they still play music from those years in rock stations today.
Yep.
That was one of the movements that came out of that era. Which nowadays, there's nothing like it right now.
No.
I haven't heard any rock songs now that are gonna be like, oh, that's gonna stick around forever.
I haven't heard any that haven't been out for 15, 20 years.
Pretty much. So that era was pretty much a solid era of music.
Yeah.
You know, the alternative rock music. Then in that same time period, you mentioned, you had the crunk music out of Atlanta. That was mostly like Usher, Little John, Bone Crusher. That was kind of like its own thing right there. You know? So you had like that crunk movement. Basically, Atlanta's took over rap, basically. When first Ludacris came out, that was when we were like in high school, pretty much. But now they have all this trap garbage, and I just can't listen to none of this. And then you got mumble rap now, which is like, it's just. But there was a time when actually there were some talented people.
Yeah.
And there was a talented time where people actually had unique sounds, unique, you know, I don't know, like Little John was just a unique oddball type of thing that never be replicated.
I don't think Little John can replicate.
T-Pain.
Yeah.
You know, that was all in that time period. And then in Spanish music, you had reggaeton, which everybody said was going to be garbage, but it's still around. Unfortunately, it's now really gone in garbage. You know, it's weird because like when reggaeton came out, the old guys would be like, "Oh, that's garbage. that's gonna get phased out. That's never gonna stick around forever. You know, like guys like my dad, and they'll be like, you know, they would tell you like, oh, that's garbage. You know, that's gonna get phased out. Remember they would always say that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna. Oh,
it actually got more popular.
It's actually more It's actually so popular now that you've had American artists like not American, but British, I guess. Ed Sheeran, he's British. That song "Shape of You," that's a reggaeton song. I mean, I don't care what you label it as. You can label it as whatever you want. That's reggaeton. The "Shape of You" song. Where's that guy from? He's British, right?
Yeah, he's from England.
Yeah, he's British. That's, is he Irish or English?
English.
English. Well, that song is definitely reggaeton. I don't care what you tell me. That's a reggaeton song. There's always like, no, that's this or that. And that's reggaeton. All this kuduro coming out of Africa and all this other mumble type crap coming out of rap Africa, that's also reggaeton. I don't give a crap what you tell me. It's got a dembow in it. It's reggaeton. And let's be honest, that reggaeton originates from Jamaica, not Puerto Rico. Let's just understand that. Because a lot of times, but it's Latin in all its essence, like what you're here today. But man, there's a lot of unique music from our era, from the reggaeton to the alternative rock to the rap. And there's a few other odd things. But I guess the 90s had like pop too, like you can't forget that.
NSYNC.
Yeah, NSYNC, Britney Spears, Ricky Martin.
LFO.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like they had their own thing too.
I liked LFO.
Yeah. Hawaii Motel.
Yeah.
Oh man.
98 Degrees.
Right. Yeah.
Backstreet Boys.
Backstreet Boys.
I like am tempted to go to a Backstreet Boy concert.
The 80s were weird. The 80s were like
New Kids on the Block.
Okay. Wu-Tang.
Culture Club.
D Block.
Cyndi Lauper.
What's this group? Push it real good.
Salt and Pepper.
Salt and Pepper. Oh man, I think I don't know. I think if you go back into like the 80s, there was a period of music that was just kind of almost taboo to listen to. Like you'll listen to Nickelback and it'll never sound taboo. You listen to Green Day, that stuff is classic. Now there's old music that when you listen to it, it's embarrassing to listen to. Like if somebody pulled up right now listening to like "Yup" in My White Tee, that's embarrassing.
The Cure.
Or like Salt and Pepper.
Yeah.
Or what would I do? I like big. That's all embarrassing. You know what I mean? There's music of that era that is embarrassing. Of all eras, really. Like even our eras, there's music in our era that is definitely embarrassing. Like I can tell you that like them franchise boys, if you listen to that crap now, you're gonna get laughed at. You know what I mean? Like there's a few artists that at the time they were popular. But you know, like as time passes, like kind of remember how cool that song was about riding a horse or something. It was kind of modern.
Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy?
No, more modern.
Oh, Old Town Road.
Old Town Road. That was cool. Man, this is trashy around here.
Yeah.
That was cool for a minute. If you listen to that today, you're gonna get some stares. I mean, there's songs that very quickly just kind
like
of
irritate you now.
No, like they just become like really phased out and unpopular.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they don't really, you know what I mean? Like they're not cool anymore. I think the 80s had too much of that.
Yeah.
The 80s, especially the 80s hip hop or whatever rap, I don't know what they call it back then.
Yeah.
But the 80s rap is like, if you listen to like, I don't know, Sir Mix-a-Lot or MC Hammer, you can't even play that stuff without getting laughed at. I mean, if you play that stuff now, you're getting laughed at. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some eras of music that you can't even listen to it anymore. You know? There's some eras of music, or not eras, but like types of music, that as time passes by, give you an idea, like Hank Williams, for example.
Yeah.
You can listen to Hank Williams today, and it's still I wouldn't say it's relevant. It's relevant in Alabama. Let's be clear about that. But
Yeah.
like if you're listening to Hank Williams, it's not embarrassing.
Yeah.
If you're listening to like Alan Jackson, some songs are okay, but some are not. Like Chattahoochee's like borderline. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. There's some music that it doesn't age well.
It doesn't age well, and then if you're listening to it, be like, why are you listening to that?
Yeah. I think MC Hammer.
Yeah, I can see that.
And them Franchise Boys. And what's the other one? Laffy Taffy. Like stuff like that. It just doesn't age at all. And that Old Town Road is not going to age well at all. Even though it was
has
cool
it already.
It already hasn't aged well. It's only been, what, a few years?
Yeah.
But then you have, with country music, you have, like Jason Aldean. That stuff's going to be classic 10 years from now.
Yeah.
10 years from now, if you play Jason Aldean in your truck, it's going to be cool. Or Florida Georgia Line. Cruise.
That's going to age well because it's a song about being in a car.
Yeah.
Really.
It's not the topic. There's songs about being in a car that didn't age well as well.
Yeah.
There are songs about being in a car that did not age at all. In the best. It's not even about the topic.
Like,
just
Cruise came out in what, like 2015?
16? 14? No, 12.
Yeah.
12. Way more than that, yeah.
So that's been out for 10 years, and you can still listen to it in your car.
Yeah. Music that doesn't age well. Music that didn't age
I know one that I haven't heard of. They're out of like Miami.
it's like this crap now, this Nicki Minaj crap and all that.
That's not gonna
That
age
stuff
well.
is embarrassing, bro. That stuff, as soon as it comes out, it's disgusting. Like, I'm not for hating on new people music, like new music. I'm not like one of those old heads like, man, this new music ain't nothing. Like, I'll listen to something new if it's good, but what they got going on now,
some of it's just trashy. Like, I wouldn't.
that Bad Bunny and Nicki Minaj and Becky G, that's all garbage. There's no way any of that stuff is. I hope not.
The Little Nas stuff, I don't think that's gonna age at all.
Oh, none of that crap. That's all garbage. Now, you know what will age well out of this generation? Kodak Black.
Yeah, I could see that going
Kodak
real
Black.
well. He will age well. He will be like
He'll be like Snoop Dogg.
Jay-Z is now.
He'll have like white hair in his head. And he'll be like
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like Snoop Dogg, perfect example. Snoop Dogg, bro. Snoop Dogg is still relevant. 50 Cent was the hottest thing in his day.
He's still relevant to a point.
You couldn't play 50 Cent right now.
No.
He, you know, give you an
played
example.
the Super Bowl.
Okay, check this out. Here's artists that you can't listen to anymore. Jay-Z's out.
Yeah, he's out.
Gone. 50 Cent, Jay-Z gone. Puff Daddy, gone. They made millions and millions, more than anybody will ever make.
And they're still making money.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. They may not be releasing music, but they are making money.
Right. But they had their day. They are done. You know? This is trashy, man. They had their day. Hot or unholy. They call it.
Within country music,
Somebody
you
else
have.
say it.
You're not gonna. You probably won't know too much about it. You've got Dolly Parton. You've got Reba McEntire. They're still releasing albums, and they're doing pretty well at it.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Exactly.
But look, Snoop Dogg can still drop a song that's hot.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg has songs that are hot.
Yeah.
Not only in rap, Snoop Dogg has done Mexican rancheras, has done corridos. He's done Spanish music. He's now doing songs
Whatever
with...
Snoop Dogg touches turns to gold.
Yeah. And now Snoop Dogg's even doing with Ovi, which is a new Cuban artist that's out that does Mexican music. Like Snoop Dogg can still be relevant. In fact, they use him for commercials. If Puff Daddy did a commercial, whatever product he's advertising, I'm not touching it. And in his day, he was like the. But I think the problem with Puff Daddy is that he shoved his products down people's throats.
Yeah.
And he was a good businessman, but he was never a cultural influencer, believe it or not. Puff Daddy was a good businessman, but he was never a cultural influencer. 50 Cent was a cultural influencer.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg was a cultural influencer. You know? There are people that, like, even after many years, they're still relevant.
Yeah.
You know who could come out now and be relevant? They say, you know, SPM, South Park Mexican? He went to prison for a long time. And what he went to prison for is pretty embarrassing. Like, he shouldn't even get respect in the street for it. But if he comes out today, he can hit charts if he comes out.
Yeah.
Because his music, it's like people are waiting for him to come out to get his music.
I don't even know what he did. So.
Can't talk about it on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, that type of thing.
Okay.
I think the girl was like 14 or something.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Pregnant too.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but he says that the mother knew it. They whatever. They always have a story about why.
R. Kelly?
Yeah, there's always a story about it. No, she was 14, but whatever.
Yeah.
No, that's a whole different subject. But if he came out today, I would undeniably say that And then there's people that try to be relevant, and no matter how hard they try, they're never gonna be relevant again. Like, they had their day, but they're not gonna stick around. Any other artists like that from other genres? What about romantic, like slower?
Backstreet Boys are still relevant after, you know.
With females.
Yeah.
No
they
guy.
were always relevant with females.
If your boyfriend listens to Backstreet Boys, you don't have a boyfriend, you have a girlfriend, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's probably listening to it because he thinks he can get something out of this.
Not even. I've been desperate in my life, and it's never been a notion that listening to Backstreet Boys is gonna do it for me. Not a chance in the world. That's not gonna happen, Katie. No. Yeah, I don't know what else is music that just didn't age well. I don't think this Becky G and all these Nicki Minaj. I can't even stand that crap. And I don't want to feel like an old head. But
yeah.
like, you know, there's always old heads who hate the new music. Because I don't hate all of the music.
No.
I don't listen to it, but I recognize, for example, I don't like Kodak's music, but I recognize he's artistic.
Yeah.
Lil Durk and people like that. I don't listen to that garbage, but even this guy that I don't listen to this guy. I don't listen to this guy's music, but we did a video on Guilford, so I listened to a few songs just so I can get familiar with the context of that situation. Because we did a video in that town, YNM, whatever the crap.
Yeah.
I don't like that music. I would never listen to it. It's violent. It's disgusting. But I can't deny he has a melody, he has a flow. I can understand how somebody can like it. But these Becky G's and gosh, and they're so vulgar. Like, I don't know how a woman can just have that little respect. I don't know. Maybe I'm saying too much.
I think we sound old.
I don't want to sound old, man. Like,
we sound like our parents.
Bro, there are some times where you're right.
And there are some artists that are out right now that are amazing with talent.
For example,
Ed Sheeran has
like
really
Little
good
Baby.
talent.
Little Baby. I don't like that guy at all. I can't stand him. I don't like his music. I think he's actually like an industry plant because everything he does is political. I can't stand Little Baby. The guy from Charlotte.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't like the guy. Can't stand him. All his music, I think he's an industry plant because everything he does is political. All his music videos are political in the sense that I can't stand the guy. But I recognize that as an artist, he's able to flow and have melody and whatever. Like, I can understand how you could be his fan. Even though I don't have any respect for what the guy does. And actually, last time I said that on our video, we had a lot of more subscribers get mad at me. But at least I can recognize the artistic value in him. Not that it's
Moray. I think he is very talented.
Moray is the most talented artist, and I'm starting not to like his music because he always puts a weird twist on it. But you can't deny he's talented. He's from Fayetteville, North Carolina.
His voice is where the talent is.
He could do opera music.
Yeah,
Opera.
It's not the lyrics. It is his voice.
He's talented. He's talented. Right. He could do opera music. He could do classical music. You know what I mean? He could go now into a what do you call this? A symphony.
He would sound amazing doing Sinatra music.
Exactly. He can sing Frank Sinatra type things. The guy's got a voice. You can't deny when somebody's got talent. But there's some of these people that are out now that's like, I think it is eso, man.
Oh my gosh.
You know, the 40 pound papaya song in Spanish. I'm like, what the crap is that? Have you heard that one? Dude, that stuff is disturbing. Like, who can bear listen to that crap? It's so vulgar that it doesn't even, like, I think now music, they don't even care about it having any type of. There was vulgar music when we were growing up.
I know.
Like, Ludacris was vulgar. Afro Man was vulgar. But Afro Man is an entertainer. He's ugly, but he can entertain you.
Yeah.
Let me zoom up and see how far along we are.
Alright, hold on. I was getting really good signal, so I was like, I don't want to give you back.
I have to. We gotta know where we're going. Okay, so we're pretty much drove clear through. Yeah, we'll be able to get on 95 and then.
We're in Ormond Beach right now.
Ormond Beach, cool, yeah. Right. You know, we could go on A1A here by Ormond and then come up Flagler Beach. I heard Flagler Beach is beautiful. And it's one of the few places we haven't really done yet.
Yeah, let's
We
do it.
have to take a right-hand turn here. These cars are turning around. Let me see if we can get in there. How will pull you turn something?
I think we can. There's not too many cars there.
Somebody lets us. Okay, there's white cars there. That's cool.
Okay.
I think it's letting us, yeah.
Well, he doesn't have a choice now.
No, yeah. But, man, I'll tell you, when it comes to music, yeah, Ormond Beach, cool. Alright, guys, there it is. Driving clear through the Daytona area. I hope you guys like this video. And our commentary about music.